Life isn't a dress rehearsal. Every second spent living an average existence is a betrayal of your potential. Picture this: waking up a decade from now with regret in your heart and mediocrity etched across every part of your life. Does that vision sit well with you? The truth is, average is easy. Average is safe. But average is also the slow death of dreams, a surrender to the whispers of doubt and the chains of comfort. To break free from mediocrity, you must first see it for what it is: a poison disguised as stability. It lures you with promises of predictability, shielding you from risks and discomfort. But what it actually delivers is a life devoid of passion and impact. Being average means settling, and settling is the antithesis of ambition. How many people look back and say, "I'm so glad I played it safe and avoided the hard path"? None. Because mediocrity robs you of the pride, power, fulfillment that only come from striving for more. Average people live in the shadows of their potential, bound by excuses and trapped by fear. They fear failure so much they avoid opportunities that could elevate them. They choose comfort over growth, unaware that every day spent in their comfort zone is a day wasted. But here's the cold, hard truth: comfort zones don't lead to greatness, they lead to stagnation. And stagnation is the breeding ground for regret. If you're tired of being average, then stop feeding into it. Stop blaming circumstances, others, or even yourself. The only way out of mediocrity is to declare war on it. Refuse to accept less than what you're capable of. Every time you make a decision to push harder, learn more, or grow stronger, you're stepping away from the average and closer to the savage within you. Ask yourself, are you willing to trade the fleeting safety of mediocrity for the limitless possibilities of savage living? If your answer is yes, then your transformation starts now. Tomorrow, not someday, today. The path to becoming savage isn't easy, but it's worth every sacrifice, every effort, and every ounce of sweat you'll pour into it. Your journey from average to savage begins the moment you stop tolerating mediocrity and decide to take control of your destiny. A savage mentality is not a mindset you casually stumble upon. It's a decision you make, a commitment to yourself to rise above the mediocrity that surrounds you. It's about rejecting excuses, ignoring distractions, and refusing to compromise on the standards you set for your life. The savage mindset doesn't care about what's easy. It doesn't crave approval, and it certainly doesn't settle for average. It's a relentless pursuit of greatness, driven by a deep understanding that anything less is a disservice to your potential. When you adopt this mentality, you stop waiting for permission. No one is coming to save you, to guide you, or to hand you opportunities. A savage creates their own opportunities. They understand that the world owes them nothing, so they take full responsibility for their progress, success, and failures. Blaming circumstances or other people is a game for the weak. A savage owns their reality, learns from every setback, and uses those lessons as fuel to go harder, faster, and stronger. Being savage isn't about arrogance or cruelty. It's about clarity and purpose. It's knowing exactly what you want and refusing to be deterred by obstacles. Whether it's waking up at 5 a.m. to train, sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term gains, or enduring criticism from those who don't understand your vision, savage remains unwavering. They don't seek validation from the world because they know their worth comes from within. This mindset is also about mastering the art of delayed gratification. The average person wants instant rewards. They'll choose comfort today, even if it costs them tomorrow. A savage knows that real success, the kind that lasts, comes from consistent effort over time. They're willing to endure the grind, the pain, and the loneliness because they know it's all part of the process. Every drop of sweat, every late night, every rejection, it all builds the foundation of their eventual triumph. A savage mentality also requires laser focus. Average people are easily distracted by trivial matters, wasting their energy on things that don't move them closer to their goals. But a savage guards their time and attention with the ferocity of a lion. They cut out toxic influences, ignore meaningless noise, and channel all their energy into what truly matters. This focus is what separates the successful from the rest, and it's why a savage achieves in 1 year what most people can't accomplish in 10. When you embrace this mindset, you become unstoppable. Challenges that would make others quit become opportunities for you to grow. You don't just tolerate adversity, you thrive in it. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory, and a savage welcomes the struggle because they know it sharpens their edge. Adopting a savage mentality isn't just a choice. It's a transformation. It's a shift in how you see yourself, your goals, and the world around you. It's a commitment to living life on your terms, shackled by the fear and limitations that keep others confined. This is how you go from average to savage, not by wishing for it, but by deciding to be it every single day. Motivation is like a fleeting flame. It burns brightly for a moment but fades quickly when challenged by resistance or hardship. Discipline, however, is the unshakable foundation that endures long after motivation has disappeared. It is the cornerstone of transformation and the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Motivation may get you started. Discipline is what keeps you going when the initial excitement wears off and the real work begins. The average person relies on motivation to act, waiting for a spark of inspiration to ignite their efforts. But what happens when that spark doesn't come? They stagnate, delay, and eventually give up. Discipline doesn't care about your mood, your excuses, or the circumstances around you. It demands action regardless of how you feel. When you are disciplined, you don't wait for the perfect conditions or a surge of enthusiasm. You simply do what needs to be done day after day until results are inevitable. Think about the difference between those who dabble in fitness and those who achieve peak physical performance. The motivated individual might start strong, hitting the gym for a week or two, but when life gets busy or progress seems slow, they fall off. The disciplined individual, however, shows up no matter what. They push through fatigue, overcome self-doubt, and stay consistent even when the process feels monotonous. That is the essence of discipline, the ability to persist through discomfort for the sake of a greater goal. Discipline is not something you're born with, it's a skill you build. Every time you choose action over excuses, every time you push through resistance, you're strengthening your discipline. Over time, it becomes a habit, a default setting that doesn't waver when faced with challenges. And the more disciplined you become, the less you rely on fleeting bursts of motivation to fuel your journey. Rewards the discipline because they are dependable, consistent, and relentless. While others are waiting for inspiration, the disciplined are creating momentum. They understand that progress is not about dramatic leaps, but about small, steady steps taken every single day. They know that each workout, each hour of study, each sacrifice adds up, compounding into extraordinary results that leave the average behind. Discipline also builds self-respect. You commit to something and follow through. You reinforce your belief in your own capabilities. You prove to yourself that you are not ruled by laziness or fear, but by a relentless drive to succeed. This self-respect becomes the fuel for even greater discipline, creating a cycle of empowerment that transforms your mindset and your life. Ultimately, discipline isn't just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the person who achieves them. It's about redefining your standards and refusing to settle for anything less than your full potential. Discipline doesn't guarantee that the journey will be easy, but it does ensure that you'll see it through to the end. And that is what separates the savage from the average, the commitment to do the work. No matter what, your environment is either your greatest ally or your silent enemy, shaping your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your destiny. The truth is, most people live in an environment that encourages mediocrity and holds them back without them even realizing it. If you surround yourself with average people, you'll adopt average habits, average beliefs, and average results. The company you keep and the surroundings you immerse yourself in dictate your standards. Whether you notice it or not, if you want to go from average to savage, it starts with taking control of your environment. Look at the people around you. Are they pushing you to be better, or are they pulling you down to stay comfortable? Friends who complain, make excuses, or lack ambition are like weights tied to your ankles. They may not intentionally want to hold you back, but their influence seeps into your mindset. Soon enough, their fears become your fears, their doubts become your doubts, and their limits become your limits. A savage cannot afford to be surrounded by anchors. You need people who challenge you, inspire you, and set a higher standard for what's possible. But it's not just about people, it's about every aspect of your surroundings. Your environment includes the media you consume, the places you spend your time, and even the way you organize your space. If you're constantly scrolling through negativity on social media or filling your mind with meaningless distractions, how can you expect to focus on your goals? If you're spending your time in environments that promote laziness or chaos, you're reinforcing habits that will keep you average. Changing your environment doesn't mean abandoning everyone and everything. It means being intentional about what you allow into your life. Seek out mentors, even if you've never met them in person. Learn from books, podcasts, or videos created by people who have achieved what you aspire to. Surround yourself with winners, people who have discipline, ambition, and a drive to excel. When you're in the presence of greatness, it forces you to level up. It sets a new benchmark for what you consider normal. Your environment should reflect your ambitions. If you want to be disciplined, Surround yourself with disciplined individuals. If you want to build wealth, spend time with those who understand money and how to multiply it. If you want to transform your body, train with people who push themselves to their limits. The energy of these environments is contagious. Just as negativity spreads, so does excellence. Creating the right environment isn't always easy. It might mean letting go of relationships that no longer serve you or saying no to situations that don't align with your goals. It might mean discomfort, loneliness, even criticism from those who don't understand your choices. But the savage doesn't fear judgment. They fear mediocrity. And if transforming your environment is what it takes to break free from average, then it's a price worth paying. Take control of your environment today. Audit every aspect of your life and ask yourself, is this helping me grow or is it holding me back? Be ruthless in your decisions because your environment will either propel you forward or keep you stuck. A savage builds an environment that fosters greatness, surrounds themselves with excellence, and leaves no room for excuses. When your environment aligns with your ambitions, there's nothing that can stop you. Physical mastery is the foundation upon which mental strength is built. When you push your body beyond its perceived limits, you awaken a resilience in your mind that you never thought possible. Your physical state is more than just a reflection of your health. It's a reflection of your discipline, your willpower, and your commitment to excellence. A strong body and a strong mind go hand in hand. One cannot truly exist without the other. If you neglect your physical self, you are inevitably weakening your mental fortitude. When you train your body, you're not just building muscles or improving endurance. You're conditioning your mind to handle adversity. Every rep, every mile, every ounce of sweat is a lesson in persistence. It's a test of your ability to endure discomfort and push through pain. These moments teach you that you're capable of far more than your mind initially believes. The barriers you face in training are no different from the obstacles you encounter in life. Overcoming them in the gym or on the field translates directly into your ability to conquer challenges in your personal and professional life. Physical mastery isn't about vanity or aesthetics. It's about power, power over yourself, power over your habits, and power over your limitations. When you have control over your body, you gain confidence that radiates into every aspect of your life. You walk taller, think sharper, act with more decisiveness because you know you have the strength to back it up. The discipline required to maintain physical mastery spills over into your daily routine, making you more productive, focused, and driven. A strong body is also a shield against weakness. When you neglect your physical fitness, you're more prone to fatigue, illness, and a lack of energy. These physical vulnerabilities seep into your mindset, making it harder to stay sharp, motivated, and resilient. On the other hand, your body is strong, your energy levels soar. You're more alert, more capable, and more prepared to face whatever life throws at you. Your body becomes an asset, not a liability. Training your body is a daily reminder that growth requires effort. It's a process that demands consistency and accountability. No one else can do it for you. No shortcuts exist. It's a pure, unfiltered test of your character. When you push through a grueling workout, you're not just improving your physical fitness. You're proving to yourself that you have the grit to stick to something difficult. You're building a mental toughness that can't be taught, only earned. Physical mastery also fosters mental clarity. When you're in peak physical condition, your mind operates at a higher level. Exercise reduces stress, sharpens focus, and improves mood. The mental clarity gained from a strong body helps you make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and stay calm under pressure. It's no coincidence that the world's most successful people prioritize their physical health. It's a cornerstone of their mental edge. Ultimately, your body is a tool, weapon, and a vessel. It carries you through life, and its condition reflects the respect you have for yourself. Mastering your body isn't optional if you want to rise above mediocrity. It's essential. A savage treats their body as sacred, understanding that physical mastery is the gateway to unlocking their full potential. When you strengthen your body, you fortify your mind. When you push your limits, you redefine what's possible. And when you achieve physical mastery, you set the stage for conquering every other challenge that comes your way. Financial independence is more than just having money in the bank. It's about control over your time, decisions, and the direction of your life. Without it, you are at the mercy of circumstances, employers, or anyone who holds the purse strings. Financial independence is not a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone who wants to live life on their terms and rise above mediocrity. It's about creating a life where you are the master, not the servant, of your financial situation. When you're financially dependent on others, You are bound by limitations that dictate what you can do, where you can go, and even who you can be. You're forced to compromise, to settle, and to play by someone else's rules. This dependence strips away your freedom and leaves you vulnerable to the whims of others. On the other hand, financial independence puts you in the driver's seat. It allows you to make decisions based on what's best for you, not what you can afford or what someone else allows. Achieving financial independence requires a savage mentality. It demands that you see money not as an end, but as a tool to buy freedom, security, and opportunities. The average person works paycheck to paycheck, spending as fast as they earn and wondering why they never seem to get ahead. A savage takes a different approach. They don't just work for money, they make their money work for them. They invest, save, and strategize, building assets that generate income and grow over time. The path to financial independence isn't easy, but it's simple. Earn more than you spend, invest wisely, and eliminate wasteful habits. It starts with taking a hard look at your financial habits and being brutally honest about where you're wasting money and potential. Are you spending on things that bring temporary pleasure, but add no value to your future? Are you living beyond your means to impress people who don't matter? A savage cuts through these illusions and focuses on building real wealth. Building wealth requires sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice worth making. It might mean skipping luxuries now so you can invest in opportunities later. It might mean working longer hours or taking on extra responsibilities to increase your income. Every sacrifice is a step closer to freedom, a freedom that can't be bought with excuses or laziness. Financial independence is not just about making more money. It's about developing the discipline to manage it wisely. It's about understanding that every dollar you save and invest is a seed for future freedom. Once you achieve financial independence, the world changes. Decisions that once seemed impossible become easy. You can choose where to live, what to do, who to associate with, all without being constrained by financial worries. You can take risks, explore opportunities, pursue passions because you have the financial cushion to support you. This level of freedom isn't about luxury, it's about power. The power to live your life unapologetically without fear of financial insecurity. Financial independence also brings peace of mind. When you're not constantly stressed about bills, debts, or emergencies, you can focus on growth and self-improvement. You can think clearly, plan effectively, act decisively. Financial independence allows you to operate from a position of strength, not desperation. And in a world that thrives on exploiting the financially weak, this strength is your greatest advantage. In the end, financial independence is about freedom. It's about breaking the chains that tie you to a life of limitations and mediocrity. It's about building a life where you control your destiny, not your debts. A savage understands this and makes financial independence a non-negotiable goal. They work for it, fight for it, and protect it because they know that true power comes from owning your time, your choices, and your life. Fear is the invisible chain that keeps most people trapped in mediocrity. It whispers lies into your mind, convincing you that failure is the end, that taking risks will lead to ruin, and that staying in your comfort zone is the safest choice. But the truth is, fear is not the enemy, stagnation is. A life spent avoiding risks is a life spent avoiding growth. If you want to rise above average and become a savage, you must learn to embrace risk and reject fear. Risk is the price of greatness. Every successful person has taken risks, faced uncertainty, and stepped into the unknown. They understood that staying safe means staying small. Playing it safe means missing out on opportunities that could change your life. When you avoid risk, you're not avoiding failure. You're avoiding the chance to succeed. The path to greatness is paved with risks, and those who are unwilling to walk it will never know what they're truly capable of. Embracing risk doesn't mean being reckless. It means calculating the odds, understanding the stakes, and taking action despite the fear of failure. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty. It's also a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And it's outside that zone where all the magic happens. Growth, progress, transformation are all waiting for you on the other side of fear. Every time you face it head on, you gain strength, resilience, and confidence in yourself. Rejecting fear isn't about pretending it doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let it control you. Fear will always be there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for a moment of weakness to strike. But when you acknowledge it and move forward anyway, you strip fear of its power. You take back control, showing yourself and the world that you are not defined by your doubts but by your actions. The average person sees risk as something to avoid. They cling to comfort and security, unwilling to venture into the unknown. But comfort zones are traps. They may feel safe, but they're also where dreams go to die. A savage understands that risk is a necessary ingredient for success. They see it as a challenge, an opportunity to prove their worth, and a chance to rise above the ordinary. Every risk they take sharpens their edge and brings them closer to their goals. Fear of failure is what holds most people back. They worry about what others will think, the embarrassment of falling short, and about the pain of making mistakes. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to it. Every failure is a lesson, a chance to learn and grow stronger. A savage welcomes failure because they know it's part of the process. They embrace the struggle because they understand it's the gateway to mastery. Taking risks doesn't mean you'll always succeed. It means you're willing to try, to bet on yourself, and to keep pushing forward even when the odds seem stacked against you. And every time you take a risk, you build momentum. You develop the courage to face bigger challenges and the tenacity to overcome them. The savage doesn't let fear dictate their life. They use it as fuel to ignite their ambition. The world is full of opportunities disguised as risks. The job you didn't apply for, the business you didn't start, the relationship you didn't pursue, all because you were afraid of the unknown. Imagine where you'd be if you had taken those chances. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped letting fear make your decisions. The time to act is now. Take the leap, embrace the risk, and reject the fear. You have everything to gain and only mediocrity to lose. Time is the most valuable asset you have, yet it's the one resource most people waste without a second thought. Unlike money, which can be earned back, or energy, which can be replenished, time is finite. Every second that passes is gone forever. That's why mastering your time isn't just important, it's essential. If you don't control your time, someone else will, and when that happens, you become a servant to distractions, obligations, and mediocrity. The average person lets time slip through their fingers. They fill their days with trivial tasks, procrastinate on what matters, and wonder why they never seem to get ahead. They allow interruptions, mindless scrolling, and endless distractions to dictate their schedules. This is a recipe for stagnation. On the other hand, a savage treats time with the respect it deserves. They know that every minute spent unwisely is a minute stolen from their goals, ambitions, and potential. To master your time, you must first understand its value. Time isn't just hours on a clock. It's opportunity. It's the chance to grow, to build, to create, and to achieve. When you waste time, you're not just wasting hours, you're wasting possibilities. A savage doesn't squander opportunities. They recognize that time is the currency of life, and they spend it with intention and precision. Mastering your time requires discipline. It's about setting clear priorities and ruthlessly eliminating anything that doesn't align with your goals. It's about learning to say no to distractions, even when they're tempting, and focusing on what truly matters. This means planning your day with purpose, scheduling your tasks strategically, and sticking to your commitments no matter what. It's not enough to be busy, you must be productive. Busy people fill their time, but productive people make progress. A savage doesn't let their time be dictated by others. They set boundaries and protect their schedule with unwavering resolve. They don't waste hours on meaningless conversations, unimportant tasks, or energy-draining obligations. Instead, they focus on high-value activities, the ones that bring them closer to their goals. They understand that saying yes to everything is the quickest way to lose control of their time and ultimately their life. Another key to mastering your time is learning to leverage it. A savage knows they can't do everything themselves, so they delegate, automate, and prioritize. They focus their energy on tasks that only they can do, the ones that move the needle. Everything else is either outsourced or eliminated. This isn't about laziness, it's about efficiency. It's about recognizing that your time is too precious to be spent on things that don't matter. Time mastery also requires self-awareness. You need to know where your time is going, which means tracking it honestly. Most people don't realize how much time they waste until they take a closer look. Once you identify the leaks in your schedule, you can patch them up and redirect that time toward meaningful pursuits. This level of self-awareness separates the average from the savage. Ultimately, mastering your time is about mastering yourself. It's about taking full responsibility for how you spend your days and refusing to let excuses, distractions, or laziness rob you of your potential. Time is the great equalizer. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. What you do with those hours determines the difference between mediocrity and greatness. A savage doesn't let time slip away. They seize it, shape it, and use it to build the life they want. Every second counts, and they make sure none of it goes to waste. The journey from average to savage is not for the faint of heart. It requires relentless discipline, unwavering focus, and the courage to confront your fears and limitations. It demands that you take full responsibility for your life, master your time, and create an environment that fuels your growth. It calls for physical mastery, financial independence, and a savage mentality that refuses to settle for mediocrity. This transformation is not a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel or what challenges stand in your way. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just dream of greatness, but takes action to achieve it. You already have everything you need within you to make this shift. The choice is yours to break free from the chains of average and step into the savage version of yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start today. Start now. Embrace the struggle, the grind, and the risks, because they are the gateway to a life of power, purpose, and fulfillment.